After taking a look at that zenith that the camcorder is refusing to focus on for some reason, trying to get it working, I was reminded of another machine that I do need to try and get working. This is probably even less likely of a repair because where something like that, zenith there, which is going to move so that it doesn't end up falling or something equally as annoying, where the zenith has got an IDE interface in it, I think anyway, you could probably fashion something that would work for that. This, from what I've read, does not. This uses a entirely proprietary interface. In fact, I think I've read that this uses the same JVC hard drive interface that the Toshiba machines use, things like my T1200 that's sitting in the other room. But we're going to find out, because I know that the hard drive's bad. I suspect the floppy drive is bad. I want to at least see what it is before I make too many judgment calls. But it does mean I gotta pull this apart, and I don't know how that's gonna come apart. Hopefully I can figure it out. I love this notice on the bottom that, again, the camcorder won't focus on. Come on, you piece of crap. Do not open! No user serviceable parts inside. Yeah, my behind. Oh, let's see. This thing is impressively heavy. Like, it weighs about as much as a battleship. Seriously. But it looks like I've got 5 screws under here. Are they standard Phillips? Okay, they are. It looks like they're Phillips. So I think if I pull out those 5 screws there, there's 2 screws there, and I think there might be like a screw or 2 on the back. I'm hoping I don't have to pull off any of these rubber feet because that would make me angry. But I'm going to do some inspection. There's probably a service manual online for this, but everything I look up for this machine gives me the 286E, the LT-286E, which is not what this is. This is a different machine. So, if you're curious, like I was, at what's underneath this door, here's your answer. Nothing. Looks like they thought maybe about something. Or maybe not, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It looks like maybe a coprocessor would go there, but obviously the socket is not there for it. Okay, I've got all the screws out. Now I'm going to try and lift up the screen assembly. Being careful. Oh, actually, this is nice. Or maybe not so nice. I didn't break anything, but it looks like there's only one connector that takes care of everything right there. So hopefully we can get that plugged in. And that this is going to function again. And here is our hard drive. Wow. First of all, there's a explosive device right there that we're going to have to defuse. I wonder if that's the only one. Looks like it probably... Well, there's one here too. Yeah, there's a battery here. I'm going to have to pull that out. That's your system battery. That's probably where a lot of the weight on this thing comes from, is this battery right here. So, looking at the design on this, and I'm hoping that I don't have to pull out too many stupid little tiny things in order to get this out. But this looks like this is going to be one hell of a pain. Wow. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. And the other thing that I don't really like is the fact that, yeah, that just comes out like that. I hope that's not going to be too difficult to get back into place, but alright, okay, that's a thing. I'm gonna have to figure out how what my angle of attack is going to be here. First, I think I'm gonna pull out this keyboard, so that way I can yank this stupid battery. So, and then I'm gonna pull that battery too. I think it's just these 2 screws, and then this metal plate comes up, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Alright, so I defused the bomb. super lithium from Maxell. They wrapped it in plastic, as if that's going to solve any problems. So a couple of things here of note. Number one is, there's your ISA expansion bus. It looks almost like the Toshiba design in that I think it's the same connector. It might be backwards though, I don't know, compared to the Toshiba. It's been a long time since I've looked. But a lot of the design on this looks an awful lot like a Toshiba laptop. Anyway, I'm going to put that back. The other nice thing about this is, as you can see there, it uses 30-pin SIMs. That's pretty cool. What's not so cool is going to be trying to get this out, because that looks like it's going to be about as fun as pissing on a spark plug. First of all, this connector can come out because that's for the battery. What does this go to? Does this go to another battery? It almost looks like it maybe goes to another battery or possibly the floppy drive. This is definitely a battery connector because it's going into this box. I'm going to see if I can pull this shield off. Okay. It's a little plastic holder thing that I guess is designed to hold corrosion. Yeah, good luck with that. This is the battery. It would almost be interesting to see if someone has resold one of these and they're selling it on eBay or something. Wouldn't be surprised if there's someone out there doing that. What's also unsurprising is that some of these are expanding. So yeah, good thing I got that out of there, because that looks like it's got a lot of battery acid in it. It could cause a lot of problems, especially since it's over top of the floppy drive. I'd love to know what drive that is, but I somehow don't think I'm going to be able to figure that out without doing some intense disassembly. Believe it or not, there's one screw holding the entire power supply assembly in place. And then it just slides out to reveal what I expected to find. Yeah, that's a JVC hard drive, alright. JD3824. LOY1. I wonder what the differences are between that and the ones that are used in the Toshiba machines. It would be kind of interesting to plug this in and power it on. See if we can figure out, now that all this crap is out of the way, if we can figure out, you know, what's going on with the drive. I think it's got a head problem, though, so this is probably not a savable drive, and of course trying to get it out of here is going to be something of a pain, it looks like, because it looks like I gotta pull this entire assembly out. And with the power supply being right here, that might be a little difficult. Alright, a little bit more disassembly, and here is the hard drive assembly itself. I don't think I'm going to go any further than this, because really, I don't care. This is a heavy drive for only a 24 megabyte drive, but I don't care enough. And this is another one of those situations where I don't think there's really much that can be done, because this is an entirely proprietary connection. I don't even know where it goes into the board. I guess it must be this connection right back here, but I don't really want to pull out all these ribbons in order to find out. So we just won't do that. I did shake this drive around a little bit. It doesn't sound particularly good. Like maybe the heads have fallen off the head stack or something. I don't know, it's hard to say, but I love this defect map. None? Yeah, what a dream. Anyway, taking a look here at this board, there's a Yamaha chip. Kind of shocked to see that. This doesn't have any sound capabilities. There's some rework done on that gate array right there, which is labeled as Epson. There's the 26-pin connector going to the hard drive. And the floppy connector. That might be a standard floppy drive connector. I believe the connection on the power supply is a bird connector as well. So you probably could replace this floppy drive with something else. It's a Sony drive, MPF17W, but now I gotta put this back together, and that looks like it could be entertaining, so. Okay, I've started sort of loosely putting all of this in place. I got the power supply plugged back in. I am going to actually, I'm going to just loosely set this on top, and then I'm going to try and power the machine on, because I'm kind of curious. I want to better listen to this hard drive. See if maybe I can figure out what the problem is. I think I know what the problem is. It's a piece of junk JVC drive from like 1988. That's what the problem is. It's like the modern Seagate drives. They're really bad. Okay. Do you think this is going to do anything? I wonder if maybe the spindle is just stuck. I don't know that it is. Alright, I've gone ahead and I've put this all the way basically back together. There's really probably not much I can do for that hard drive. I think it's just junk. Maybe I can see if I can find another one. I don't know, but I don't think that the likelihood of finding another one that actually works is really high. Okay, friends, moment of truth. It was working a minute ago. Wow, that's very reflective. And it's still running. Obviously the hard drive is not working. Error 162. What I need for this thing is the, I need the diagnostics. Yeah, there we go. It's going to sit here for a minute and try and test the hard drive, which is going to fail because it doesn't work. So it should give me a 1780 in a second. Yeah, there we go. I press F1. I don't know why it's defaulting to 40 column mode, but it is. Hard disk is off. Set the switch to on or insert disk in drive. So it thinks that the disk is off. The light is stuck on solid. Caps lock works at least. So does the num lock. And the scroll lock. But I'm pretty sure that the floppy drive does not work on this machine. Or at least I was having some problems with it. Okay, I'm gonna have to hit the reset, I guess. Ooh, that's a new error message. Yeah, so this thing has definitely got some issues. As you can clearly see, there's definitely problems here that I'm going to have to sort out with this. If I ever do, I have no idea at this point in time. Because it's not really worth investing any time in something like this when I've got other machines like the Zenith Super Sport sitting over there. Candidate for restoration.